Over 1 million damage at level 22. Welcome to the new best early build for Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is of course all on Nightmare difficulty. With this build you will have more damage on level 20 as any casual player has on level 50, making even a playthrough on Nightmare a total easy cakewalk. One-shotting every merc with a normal assassination will from now on be your daily business. This build will have a total crit damage of 450%, a crit chance of up to 57%, you can overrun mercs with a normal assassination, it will deal up to 1 million damage, and all this is at level 22. But let's check out the damage values first. We have 33,000 with the light attack if you attack from behind, 52,000 with the heavy attack, and 150,000 with the charged attack. A Furioso Bloodline will deal over 200,000 damage, and an Overpower Animation Cancel will deal over 400,000 damage. But the real damage is actually dealt when you attack a Polemark from behind, dealing over 500,000 with a charged attack or over 1 million damage with an Overpower attack. Since we are a bit limited on ability points, our only hunter ability will be the Devastating Shot, dealing over 180,000 damage, and even your non-critical hits will deal so much damage that every enemy will simply die from an arrow for a melee attack or from an assassination, even if you don't crit this attack. But with that insanely high crit chance of 57% as early as level 22, we can actually use a single normal assassination to overrun a mercenary in a single attack, or rush assassination, or just a single arrow shot. You will one-shot those mercenaries with every attack if you crit them, and that will be your daily business from now on. It will be as easy as playing on level 50 or beyond. But to make this build so incredibly strong, you have to do a bit of preparation work. You should have enough points to use all the mandatory booster abilities that give you warrior damage, crit chance, assassin damage, hunter damage, headshot damage. All of these marked abilities, which give you huge bonuses, should definitely be unlocked early on to get the maximum out of this build. At around level 10 you will unlock the Great Escape, which is a quest that is located on Kefalonia that leads you to Corfu Island. You actually have to do only one specific task on Corfu Island. Please ignore all those warnings because we won't do the story anyway. Only do the first quest where you have to collect your gear from the cave, then talk to the drunken Barnabas and he will give you the first treasure hunt quest. This will unlock the whole Corfu Island map for you. Before that you could not travel to the north. But now you can do that, and you only have to go to that specific location, the Koiladi farm, where you have to collect the champion Ostraka. The solution for that Ostraka will also be in the northeast of the map, and that will unlock the plus 100% damage but minus all resistances. This engraving actually gives you 200% and not the 100% that's written on it. After that you should immediately leave Corfu Island. Use the map screen and press the interaction or assassination button to switch between Greece and Corfu Island and travel back to Greece. You can go back to Corfu Island with the same menu later and continue the story when you are ready to do it. At the end of this video you will also find a complete guide with all the locations, all the Ostrakas, all the engravings which you need to collect to make this build. But now let's finally check out the build. Here in the inventory we have 7,400 warrior damage and 42,000 assassin damage. Both of these values are insanely high. And thanks to the Bighorn bow, which increases our warrior damage by 1.6 for our left melee weapon, we will also use the same 7,400 warrior damage when we shoot our arrows. The first weapon we actually use is a perfect epic sword with warrior damage, 15% crit damage and 9% damage as swords. Since our weapon only has level 21, of course, the engraving percentages are also lower than on a level 50 or on a level 99 build. But if you upgrade your weapon to level 31, 41, 51 and so on, you will always get an additional step, an additional increase in those percentages. So if you found a perfect epic weapon, you will still be able to upgrade it and use it in a max level build as well. On this weapon we will engrave the 25% warrior damage but minus 15% resistances. The negative effect of this engraving actually doesn't matter because we already used the Corfu engraving which gives us minus 100% resistances anyway, so we can actually completely ignore this. You can find the perfect epic sword named Hater's Harpe when you do the Friend in Need quest in Attica. Simply lie to Hater to keep the sword and then you will have the perfect sword to make this build. On the second weapon, we will then use the Typhoon's Axe. The Typhoon's Axe was already used in the level 99 legendary build, and here we will use it for one specific reason. We will use it to increase our crit chance, because this weapon gives us an additional 6% crit chance while full health, and that is actually a huge bonus at level 22, because crit chance is really hard to come by at early levels. If you don't have the Typhoon's Axe, of course, you could use an epic sword, which could be the Sword of Axen instead. On both of these weapons you should engrave the plus 100% damage but health capped to 25%. That is not the Corfu engraving, that is an additional 100% engraving, which you can get when you loot the Falks of Olympus from a location near Terra Island. Now the thing is, with the Sword of Axen you would actually get additional damage swords that would give you over 8000 warrior damage instead of the 7400. But using the Typhoon's Axe with reduced 7400 warrior damage is still better than using the Sword of Axen, because we also get more critical chance. And having more crit chance here, the 6% crit chance, is actually more valuable than 700 warrior damage. When we multiply 7400 warrior damage with a factor of 0.57, which is our crit chance of 57%, then multiplied with crit damage, we actually get a higher value than when we do the same with 8000 warrior damage and multiplying this with a crit chance of only 51%. And don't forget that the crit chance will also increase up to 20% when you fully upgrade that weapon. So you will have an easy time to reach 100% crit chance when you use the Typhoon's Axe in your build. Please be aware that if you want to use a plus 200% critical damage with fire attacks, that you always have to activate that with your flaming attacks ability. So it is actually a bit fiddly to use that mechanic, and I actually recommend it to use this weapon only for the crit chance. If you decide to go with the Sword of Axen, you can find this sword in the epic chest in the Parthenon in Athens. You should actually not loot any of these weapons before you get to level 21, because at that level your stats on the weapons have just increased, so you don't have to upgrade them. For our bow we will use the Bighorn bow, because as soon as level 15 you will unlock your left melee weapon, and from that point on it doesn't make sense to use any other bow than the Bighorn bow. The Bighorn bow will add all its DPS to our left melee weapon, in this case 478, making it almost twice as strong as before. And here we have to make the same decision. We have the potential to engrave another 10% crit chance by using the engraving which comes from the Talon dagger from the store. That gives us 10% crit chance but minus 50% crit damage. When we multiply our 7400 warrior damage with the 57% crit chance and our crit damage factor, then we will get a higher average damage output than if we would not use this engraving. The Bighorn bow is a Helix Door weapon, but you can get it for free when you use your 200 free Helix credits for it. That is the single best item you can get in the store, so I really recommend you using your credits on that one. For our armor items we will use the complete Nemean Lion set, because that gives us another plus 10% crit chance from the set bonus. That is the only way to reach that insane 57% crit chance so early. Of course you could also use epic items with similar engravings from the blacksmith, but then you don't have the additional 10%. So having this set really helps you out a lot at early levels. Make sure that you don't get these items before you reach level 21. Wait until you reach level 21 and then you can use all these set items until you reach level 51. You don't have to upgrade them for the next 30 levels if you do this. On the Nemean Lion headgear we will use 10% crit chance while full health. In order to be able to engrave this, you have to solve all the 5 Ostrakars for the crit chance at full health. All the locations for that are shown in the guide at the end of this video. On the Nemean Lion's bracers we have warrior damage and 30% critical damage while full health. Here we use the 50% crit damage with warrior abilities. That is unlocked by the Spartan Renegade set. If you don't want to use the 50% with warrior abilities, you could also go for the 50% crit damage with hunter abilities, which is unlocked by the Sphinx set. However, both of these engravings are locked behind another legendary set. So if you don't want to get a second set just for one engraving, which really doesn't matter so much, then just engrave another 2% crit chance here. On the belt we also have warrior damage and 30% crit damage while full health, and here's the best place to engrave the plus 100% damage but minus all resistances. On the torso we will simply engrave the 10% crit chance, there is no other good option for it. And here on the boots we already have crit chance while full health on the item itself, so we cannot engrave it on our own, so we engrave the 50% crit damage while full health. For that you also have to solve 5 Ostrakars, and these are also shown in the guide at the end of this video. That will give us the following stats of 441% warrior damage and 340% assassin damage. 200% of that is only coming from the Corfu engraving, another 100% from the Falcons of Olympus, so most of it only coming from these two engravings, which is insane. We only have 9% damage with swords, but as explained, it was more important to increase our crit chance to be 57%, and we have a total of 450% crit damage when we activate the Typhon's Mace, and even if you don't activate it, you still have 250% crit damage, that is tripling your damage every time. We also have 40% fire damage and all the negative resistances here, but that's totally not important, what matters is the damage. To make this build you will need around 30 ability points, and if you still need a couple more, then simply check out the guide at the end, because when you collect all the Ostrakars, which you also need, there are a couple of tombs really close by, so that's not a long ride to get the missing points for it. You should definitely invest your points in Sixth Sense, because that slows down time and it not only helps you with your hunter damage, it also helps you when doing assassinations. You should put 2 points into Arrow Master to unlock your fire arrows, then use Devastating Shot as your strongest shot and fully upgrade Archery Master. Then for the warrior abilities you should go for Charged Heavy Attack that triples your heavy attack damage, Weapons Master for additional crit chance, Flaming Attacks to activate the Typhoon's Fury ability, Fire Mastery for 40% additional fire damage, use 2 points for the Overpower attacks and also 2 points on Fury of the Bloodline. Ring of Chaos should be saved for later because it is really weak if you only have level 2 abilities. Don't forget Second Wind for the health refill, and in the Assassin tree of course Shadow Assassin for the crit damage and assassin damage, Rush Assassination for the best assassin ability, and Stealth Master for the additional out of combat damage overnight. If you now need a perfect route to collect all the stuff that is required by this build, then definitely use this route. You will start at Kefalonia with the Melisani caves. There's a riddle, you can collect this tablet and the solution is at the statue in that bottomless lake. Then after that you will travel to Megaris, and in Megaris there's another Ostrakar location. The riddle is on the farm of Typrodiscos and the solution for that is at the ships at the dock, right at this spot. Don't forget to collect the ability point in the Tomb of Alcatus when you are in Megaris. And also don't forget to activate the fast travel point because I usually forget this one. After that fast travel to Delphi, activate the fast travel point of the Temple of Apollo, and then close by there's the Tomb of the First Pythia. Also solve this tomb to get another ability point and then fast travel back to Megaris. Then you can simply go northward to activate the abandoned Watchtower fast travel point, and south of that Watchtower is the Tomb of Eteocles for another ability point. Then head all the way north to the Katmayat fast travel point in Thebes, collect the Ostrakar from the leader house in Thebes, you have to sneak in there because there are high level enemies, and then collect the solution here at the bridge near Thebes. That is a crit chance at full health Ostrakar, so it is really important. After that you should visit that shipwreck for another Ostrakar, and the solution will be in the port of Piraeus or in the court, the smelling fish here on the shelf. While you are doing this, you can also loot the Mykean tomb of Ajax on the island of Salamis, and then you should go to Corinthia, activate the fast travel point on the temple, and then close by there's a sacred cave. There you will find another Ostrakar riddle. The solution for that riddle is here on the tongue of that statue. Just go to that statue, press A on the tongue and you solve it. There's also another tomb close by, which is Agamemnon's tomb. So if you need more points you can definitely get this. And then go to the Temple of Poseidon in Argolis. There's also Phaedon's tomb, very easy to solve. Go to Elykia's Peak then next, and also do the Waterfall of Styx for another ability point, and then head all the way down to Olympia. Don't forget to activate the fast travel point on the Temple of Zeus, and then go to that waterfall, the Spring of Piera. The Ostrakar of that location is actually in the cave nearby, and the solution will be on top of the hill north of Olympia. Go here to the left wing of that statue to solve it. There's also a very easy tomb nearby, which is the smallest in the entire game. After you got that point, fast travel back to Elykia's Peak, and then you have to ride down with your horse all the way down to Laconia to Paidiscos Camp. In Paidiscos Camp there's another Ostrakar riddle. Get also the Taygetus Overlook, and the riddle solution is at the top of Mount Taygetus. Press A at the sword and you solve it. Then after that you can fast travel back to either Athens or to another island where you have a port, because you will need your ship from now on. Sail with your ship to that location north of Thera. In that location you will find the Fox of Olympus in a chest underwater. Loot this weapon to get the 100% damage but health capped to 25%. After that, go to Naxos. There's another Ostraka riddle in the Naxos quarry and the solution for that can be found on top of the arch of the unfinished temple near the beach. The next stop will be on Chios, so you have to travel all the way to the north with your ship to get to that ship dock here. There's the tomb very close nearby to that ship dock, so I really encourage you to solve that tomb for another ability point. And then you have to sneak in to the Anavatos ruin. Go to the backside of the ruin and only collect the Ostraka riddle. The solution for that can be found in Angelos cave here at the smashed ceramic pots in the middle of that cave. And last but not least, we will travel to Lesbos. There's another Ostraka riddle, the last one we have to collect in the Alkidas fort. Also sneak in there because there are high level enemies, so don't make any alert, just collect the riddle and then simply solve it by diving at the broken bridge. Now you finally collected all the 5 Ostrakas for crit chance at full health and for crit damage at full health. That's everything you basically need in this game. If you still need more ability points, you can of course also go for the Tomb of Orpheus or solve any of the other tombs. There are 22 in total in the base game and a lot of them were not close to that route. I really hope you like this new build, it's absolutely awesome. Please don't forget to subscribe, leave me a like and see you next time.